2005, she was honored by the British with the award of the most excellent order of the British Empire. She has founded and organized Karachi Literature Festival, which is an annual event. She's also the founder and organizer of Islamabad Literature Festival, Children's Literature Festival, and Teachers Literature Festival. Over to you.
Of the children's history of Balochistan, and you'll be very pleased to learn that this book is part of a series, and already we have published books, also all written by Dr. Hamida Khuhro, on a children's history of Sindh, a children's history of the Punjab, and a children's history of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So this is the fourth book in the series. The history of Sindh has been translated into Urdu and Sindhi, and the forthcoming books are a children's history of Balochistan and a children's history of Afghanistan. And the whole idea behind these books is to introduce the history of all the provinces of Pakistan to children in a very accessible way, in a way that they enjoy reading these stories. Most of them are stories that are told through children who are traveling to different parts of Pakistan, to these places and their experiences. And I think the most important achievement of these books is that they develop a sense of pride in their own heritage, their own culture, and their own country. More about these books.
That, children saying and students saying that history is very boring, it's all just dates and things and we don't have anything else, and that we have to remember all this. So I wanted to make it clear that it's not having to remember dates, but it's to find out who we are. Who are we as a people? How have we become what we are? Who was responsible for our ancestry, for our genes, as it were, or for our being what we are today. And you will find that in every case, in every book that you read, you will find that we are inheritors of great traditions of different peoples. We are not just one kind of people. We are a mix of many races and many people who have come into this part of the world over centuries. So we are not exclusive, we are not whatever, but we are inheritors of great tradition, and that we should keep in our mind that we are a pluralistic society with all sorts of variations in our thinking and in our behavior, but we belong to one nation. So if you can remember that, and if you can get this from your books, I'll be really very happy. So I think whether you can.
Because being someone from Balochistan and just seeing this book, I think it's a tremendous work of importance, in the sense that Madam Hamida Khuhro herself has written so well about Balochistan itself, but also with Oxford University actually taking it up. Because as we all know, and aap bacche jo ke matlab you come from all parts of Pakistan और बेशक इस्लामाबाद में रहते हैं, लेकिन अक्सर औकात ये होता है कि हम लोग हिस्ट्री जिस तरह डिसेमिनेट होनी चाहिए किताबों के ज़रिए और ख़ासकर स्कूल्स में, उस तरह अनफॉर्चुनेटली बहुत से सालों से ये एक किताब के शक्ल में प्राइमरी या मिडिल स्कूल्स में नहीं रहा. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली देयर आर मैनी सच इंसिडेंट्स, जिससे मुझे भी याद है कि 1992-93 में जब अपने स्कूल के लिए मैं गई कराची के मैं टीचर्स वहाँ से अपॉइंट करूँ और स्कूल के लिए ले जाऊँ, जो मन तुर्बत डिस्ट्रिक्ट का एक हिस्सा है. बिलीव मी, द टीचर्स देन आस्क्ड मी, जब जिनको हमने अपॉइंट किया तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपको हमारे पासपोर्ट्स चाहिए और वीज़ा भी चाहिए होगा हमें, मतलब ये टीचर्स की सेंस है कि बलूचिस्तान का एज सच नहीं पता, बट आई एम ग्लैड टू सी कि ये जो किताब है जिस तरीके से माशाल्लाह बच्चों के लेवल के लिए पूरी, अगर इसको आप शुरू से पढ़ें टिल द एंड, आपको बहुत सी चीज़ें इसमें नज़र आएंगी बलोचों के हिस्ट्री, और जैसे बेगम साहिबा ने कहा कि उससे भी पहले प्री हिस्टोरिक टाइम्स के हवाले से जो हम बात करते हैं कि हमारी सिविलाइजेशन जो इस सब कॉन्टिनेंट और फिर पाकिस्तान और ख़ासकर बलूचिस्तान का है, हम कहाँ से आए हैं, किस तरह के लोग थे, और ये ओवर सेंचुरीज इवॉल्व होता गया, एंड देन वी आर ऑल पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ वन कंट्री जो पाकिस्तान है। तो ये इसमें बहुत खूबसूरती और इंटरेस्टिंग वे से मैं समझती हूँ कि सिर्फ सिविलाइजेशन की बात नहीं हुई है, प्री हिस्टोरिक भी जो एक सिविलाइजेशन की जितनी एडवांस थी, अगर हम मेहरगढ़ की भी बात करें जिसका जिक्र है इस किताब में, आप देखेंगे कि माशाल्लाह इट गोज़ बैक टू 11,000 ईयर्स BC। तो आप अंदाज़ा लगाएं कि उस वक्त कितनी एडवांसमेंट थी, और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आज जो हम 21वीं सेंचुरी में हैं, तो बहुत सी चीज़ें हमने लूज़ भी किया है। जिस तरह प्रोग्रेस होना था शायद हम नहीं गए हैं, बट ज़बानों की, लिबास के, मतलब उस बलूचिस्तान के माहौल के बारे में एक स्टोरी जो कि आप बीती भी आप कह सकते हैं, लेकिन एक फैक्ट्स पे, और बलोचों के वैल्यूज़ जो हैं, जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है ब्रिटिश दौर के बारे में, तो बहुत कुछ आपको इस माशाल्लाह किताब से आपको मिलेगा। इसी तरह जो मुझे अट्रैक्ट किया इमीडिएटली, दो तीन चीज़ें, क्योंकि मेरे इलाके के बारे में भी हैं। एक मेरा ट्राइब जो कि मैं रिंद हूँ, और चाकर आज़म का पता नहीं आप लोगों ने कभी फिल्म ड्रामा सीरियल देखा या नहीं देखा, लेकिन मीर चाकर खान के बारे में जो रिंद ट्राइब के वॉरियर थे, पहला जो बलोच रिंद ट्राइब का यहाँ आके रहा, उसके बारे में भी है। और सेकेंडली हिंगलाज जो एंड में आप देखेंगे एक हिंदू मंदिर के बारे में लिखा हुआ है। बलूचिस्तान में मैं समझती हूँ, आई टेक प्राइड इन दिस, कि जो इंटरफेथ रिलेशनशिप्स हैं, सदियों से हिंदू वहाँ रहते हैं, सदियों से उनके मंदिरें हैं, और इसी तरह हमारे पास बहाई भी हैं, हमारे पास पारसी ज़ोरास्ट्रियंस हैं, इसी तरह हमारे और भी कम्युनिटीज़ जो कि ज़िक्री कम्युनिटी उनको कहा जाता है, वो हैं, क्रिश्चियंस हैं, लेकिन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह कभी इस तरह का एक इशू नहीं बना जिस तरह होता है। मतलब वी आर ऑल लिविंग टुगेदर, पार्ट एंड पार्सल, मुसलमान भी हैं, सब इकट्ठे रहते हैं और लगता नहीं है। नाउ हिंगलाज जो जिसके बारे में बात की है इज़ द सेकेंड मोस्ट एंशंट हिंदू मंदिर, और वो बलूचिस्तान में ओरमाड़ा एक जगह है, और स्पेसिफिकली हिंगोल नेशनल पार्क के बारे में अगर आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, दैट इज़ बॉर्डरिंग ऑन 3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स, आवारान, लसबेला और ओरमाड़ा। और ये नेशनल पार्क इस सेंस में है कि अभी भी लाइव मड वल्केनोज भी हैं, उसमें बहुत सी वाइल्ड लाइफ है जिसको प्रिजर्व किया गया है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। लेकिन ये जो मंदिर है ये उधर ही वाक़ है, और मेरा इलाका जो मेरा घर है वहाँ से बहुत करीब है। सो दीज आर थिंग्स नॉर्मली मेरे ख्याल में बच्चों को नहीं मतलब नज़र आते, एंड दिस बुक हैज़ डन अ रियली गुड जॉब। और मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है OUP से कि इसको उर्दू में भी ट्रांसलेट किया जाए, बिकॉज इट विल बी वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट।
Because it came out just yesterday, I just got the name. Who narrates the history, and it's Mufti who narrated this history to us, and so I put that in. So it's a real idea कि बलूचिस्तान की घाट इसको बाबुल इस्लाम कहना चाहिए, हिंदुस्तान और पाकिस्तान, क्योंकि यहाँ इस्लाम हजरत उमर की जो फौजें थी उन्होंने जब ईरान फतेह किया उसके बाद बलूचिस्तान और बलूचिस्तान को फतेह किया, तो बलूचिस्तान एंड देन दूसरा कि वो जो अब दूसरी स्टोरीज हैं इसमें, जैसे फ्रूट है आसानी से हो जाएगी, मगर उसको पता तब पड़ा जैसे उसको उसकी फौज अलेक्जेंडर को लाते थे, मगर वो देखता है कि मेरे सोल्जर्स के पास पानी नहीं है तो वो फेंक देता है पानी, वो खुद भी नहीं पीता है। तो ये है, इससे पहले साइरस द ग्रेट की आर्मीज भी वहाँ ख़त्म हो गई। तो ये एक हिस्ट्री है बलूचिस्तान की कि जो भी हॉस्टाइल फोर्सेस आते हैं तो उनको बख्शता नहीं। तो ये तो कंटिन्यू है। और दूसरी इनके हुनर जो हैं, आपको पता होगा कि बलूच एम्ब्रॉयडरी बहुत मशहूर है और बहुत ही, मैं नहीं समझती कि पाकिस्तान के किसी भी हिस्से में इतनी फाइन एम्ब्रॉयडरी होती है जैसे बलूचिस्तान में होती है। और हाँ, और सिंध से कनेक्टेड फोक टेल है। मुझसे पूछा गया था एक इंडिया से चिंता आस में कि आपने लव स्टोरीज क्यों डाली हैं इन किताबों में। मैंने कहा हमारी हिस्ट्री का एक इम्पोर्टेंट, हम सब बच्चे जब थे तो हमें यही स्टोरीज बताई जाती थी कि भाई दिस वाज द लेजेंड, ससी पुन्नू, हीर रांझा वगैरह वगैरह, यही हम सुनते थे। तो ऐसी एक स्टोरी है जो सिंध और बलूचिस्तान की मुश्तरका स्टोरी है, वो है ससी पुन्नू। Sasi was a Brahman's child. What you will read it in the books, I won't tell you. But this is, Shah Abdul Latif was a great folk poet. तो उन्होंने तो बहुत सी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिससे आपको you will love Balochistan. It's so beautiful. और लोग वहाँ के किस तरह रहते हैं, वो डेजर्ट्स में, खासकर कुछ ट्राइब्स जो नोमैड्स थे, उनकी सेटल जिंदगी थी, तो वो जाते हैं अपने हर्ड लेके, गोट्स वगैरह, और वो कोई भी ग्रीनरी हो, कोई पानी हो, जैसे कि आपको पता है कि डेजर्ट्स में होता है कि द कैरावैन गो लुकिंग फॉर water and grass for the animals, and so their life is also like that. Then of course the British tried to settle them. उनको कोशिश की कि एक जगह रखा जाए, I don't, एक जो गाँव या ऐसी तरह वहाँ सेटल किया और फैसिलिटीज़ की कोशिश की, मगर अभी तक मैं समझती हूँ कि वो नोमैडिक जिंदगी है, अभी तक पुरानी जिंदगी जो है वो कंटिन्यू करती है बलूचिस्तान में। तो इसी तरह से है बहुत सी मालूमात, और मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप किताब पढ़ेंगे, इतना ज़्यादा महंगा भी नहीं है, 200 रुपये में आपको मिल जाएगा। थैंक्स टू अमीना दैट शी कैन प्रोड्यूस इतने खूबसूरत किताब, इतनी खूबसूरत इलस्ट्रेशंस जो ख़ास कमीशन की जाते हैं, वो फिर भी इतने पैसों में वो उनको देती है। So this is a great service for the children of Pakistan, and I hope that you appreciate it.
My question is that why is Balochistan being neglected and the people living over there do not get their rights?
Not getting.
Their rights.
I'm not getting what to say, and it is the fault of the governments of all these years. But at last, the people have, now raised their voice, and the government is responding, I think, by realizing that they should, that Balochistan has a right to their, for instance, one great injustice was whatever gas we have comes from there, but in Balochistan they didn't have it for a very long time. Quetta, other towns didn't have gas, so that was one big injustice. But now I think all you children, like you have asked the question, and the people now realize that this has been done, this injustice has been done, that it should be put right. And the people of Balochistan who feel, because of all these things, they feel that they have not been treated as equal citizens, should get their rights. And I certainly hope, and I'm sure that at present the government has become aware of this and is trying to remedy the situation. So I hope that in the near future, right.
My question is that we all, as we know that gas comes from Balochistan. Now why don't not they get the gas? They burn the logs.
Well, that is what the governments have done for the region. Because if they got the gas there and given them all this power, then the progress there would have been also tremendous. But they didn't get it, and they had to really fight for that. But now, as I said, the government does realize that they should be.
10 years, we've been able to at least provide gas to 8 districts of Balochistan. There are totally 30 districts, but 8 at least have got. So in that sense, in spite of the 50 years that have passed, but at least governments have realized. And the situation that we see in Balochistan today is because of the injustice that has happened. And inshallah, as time passes, we may see more development, hopefully for the people of Balochistan.
My name is Dr. Banaza. I'm basically from Balochistan, but presently I'm in Islamabad. I just wanted to ask, in spite of all the injustice things that have been come across for Balochistan, what the children today can do by themselves to improve their own situation, in spite of whatever has been done in the past. What can we do to improve that situation in Balochistan?
Well, I think awareness is a great thing to listen to that. So I think awareness, if you know and some other know, you should spread the word. All the children and young people should know what their rights are and demand those rights. No democracy will work unless people themselves demand rights. At the top, people know what should be. They do know. And they do try. But it's not until there's a public awareness, nothing can happen. Even for women, for instance. Unless women themselves realize that these are our rights and we will not stand for injustice or for any zulm, then they can become a force for improvement. But until they know that, they can't. Most women, I don't want to divert from Balochistan, but I just want to say that because women don't know what their rights are, they are ready to accept anything that happens to them. That has got to stop. So Balochistan also has to stop suffering and stand up for itself. Say, look, this is what our rights are. Then governs this.
Of class 8 from Primary School Balcony. My question is that you said that they are not, the people of Balochistan are not getting rights, but their Jagidara system is not letting them do the government to give their rights. Their Jagidara system and their Jagidar, and they are not letting them to do their work in Balochistan.
I don't think that's true. There's a lot of propaganda certainly like that. But why would Sardars stop them then? Because Sardars are part of that society and they want rights too. And they won't stop their people from getting rights. If they are the leaders of the society and the people listen to them and so I can't agree with you that it's the Sardars who are stopping. And there are no Jagirdars. I don't think there are any Jagirdars in Balochistan. Or even in Sindh. Jagirdari system has finished in this country.
But ma'am, Abdul Bhukti was now ma'am, his son is also like that.
He's got lots of sons and they're not like him at all.
Balochistan, but what they're talking about is the feudals, the Sardars and the Jagirdars. They have resisted education wherever they are. There's a World Bank survey. They had made many schools in Balochistan which were completely furnished with textbooks and everything. And I know personally the lady, because she was my teacher at Portland State University, she came
to look at what was happening in those schools. So she was very excited when she reached Pakistan. She went to the frontier at that time and to Balochistan, and when she came back, her shoulders were sad, and she said, I am such a broken person, because not even one of those schools was running. They had, the furniture was all stacked on one side, there were animals, there was fodder, and there were all sorts of things. And when she said, I asked them what happened, they said, oh, we can't get the chowkidars, and then there is some sort of feud between the tribes, and this is why we haven't. So this is the fact which I can quote myself. But it's not only Balochistan, it's in other places, it's in South Punjab as well. There also, education has not been allowed to reach at the grassroots level, because then they would ask. Now there is a lot of awareness because of the television, that they have rights and they should ask. But having said that, even here in the cities too, like you said yourself, women don't even know what the rights are, where they can go for recourse if there some problems happen to them. So
women certainly have a problem.
yes, but certainly the Sardars there have.
I want that ruined schools or not inhabited schools are the fault of Sardars. You see, that again is awareness of people trying, not sending their children or not demanding that these schools function. I know because I was Minister of Education here, and my problem was that people were not ready to send their girls to school. They wanted that they should, that boys should earn, they should go and do some work and then earn some money. And the girls were not allowed because they had to get married very quickly. So these are social problems. They're not imposed by anybody. These are our common social problems which we have to deal with, which our people have to be aware of and deal with. You know that I was minister twice. I was minister in the early 90s, and at that time I found that lots of people were coming to school and sending their children to school. And I wanted to know why. That was because at that time jobs were available and they wanted their daughters to get teaching jobs and earn money. So they were prepared to send them to school for a few years in order to get teaching. Then in between, because of IMF and World Bank and whatever restrictions, there was a restriction on jobs. You know that in the mid-90s and late, there was complete restriction on jobs. And so the people stopped sending their children to school. They said, what is the point of going there for 8 years, getting your matriculation and then becoming not fit for cultivation, not fit to do anything, wanting jobs and sitting at home. So that was the great issue. Of course there are others, awareness, whatever else, but I found that was a major reason. So you can apportion the blame all along to the Prime Minister, to the Zamindars, to all leaders of society, to the public, but it's not, you cannot single out a single. About children in Islamabad.
Goes to a school in Quetta. There's no, as I told you, not only in religion, but historically and traditionally, we all lived together. In Quetta is a city of Balochistan where you have Sindhis, Pathans, Balochs, Punjabis for centuries living there, Urdu speaking people, Hazaras who are Persian speaking. You see intermarriages, children growing up knowing 2 different languages, in 3 different languages. So as children and as people, we are all one. But unfortunately, as we said, that there are certain political reasons that you see the tragic incidents that have happened in the past, maybe I would say 8 years or 6 or 7 years maybe. Unfortunately, it triggered off a lot of the injustice that happened all through these years, triggered off because of an incident, and has put in a lot of the youth, a lot of the Baloch youth are angry today, because of what has happened, and the way they've been neglected and justice hasn't been done. They know, roads and education and jobs, and there's a whole lot of things. But let me say that children love each other, and I hope that sometime your school makes a trip, like we used to have trips, where schools would take children all over Pakistan, and you come to Balochistan and see for yourself, inshallah.
We know that Balochistan has the largest area of Pakistan. But ma'am, why is the population low over there?
Population because of the condition, geography, so on, which doesn't allow that kind of growth. But now with industrialization and progress, I'm sure that population will grow, how to say, exponentially, and you will soon get lots of people there.
This you'll find out about their culture, or their food, their clothes, and that is how you develop understanding. And it's a remarkable book because it is just 40 pages, and yet it covers the sort of Balochistan in prehistoric times, and it tells you about the rich history of the area, the rich culture. It tells you all about the Persian Empire, the rule of the Persian Empire, about Alice, and all in 40 pages. It's quite an achievement.
Just the hospitality of the Balochis.
That's the hospitality. Go hungry. That is a tradition there. But I'll tell you of a general hospitality, which is that at the time of partition, when there were feeling against
and love that the people of Balochistan. I was so emotional that day when I sat there in the home and listened to the stories. It was beautiful. And again, the house is being looked after by a book team. And there are Hindus living in that house, and they have been told that this structure will not change because this belongs to a friend of mine. So we still can't find out who that book team is, who has kept that house intact. But we are looking for him. Let's hope we find him someday. But this is what it's all about.
Yeah, if I may ask you a question, a little comment on an island, in a mountain, maybe in a valley, or in a desert, small desert community, everybody depends on everybody. Everybody must contribute, and everybody has rights. And those aspects can be very interesting to think about. I come from a country with cold weather, a lot of rain, a lot of mountains. I have a friend in Matan who has come from the far north of Norway. He didn't find back here today. Maybe he has come by now. But in Norway we discovered oil about 40 years ago. Norwegians have become very rich, and the government has all the policies in place so that we share those resources. And of course, when you have natural resources, you have the right in the community where those resources were found to keep a fair share of them, and then you share with the others. But that aspect is very essential. I think now we can complain about the situation within a country like Pakistan and Balochistan today. Earlier we could blame the Brits during the colonial time, and in Africa, where I also worked, for example in Zambia, they have copper, and they had terrible agreements with those foreign companies, and Norway.
It's so strong. What is the way out of it? How do you think it can work and the society can develop in that context? What would you plan?
I think the tribal structure was very important at one time. Bully anybody else, you had equal rights and so on. So that for some time that was the most important. Of course now the tribal structure is coming apart because there is no need for it anymore. Now it's urbanization, individuals, self-aware individuals, and therefore the tribal system is bound to break. Just as the Nanu Jagiras, the tribal system is weakened. The Sardars no longer have that kind of power that they used to have.
The surveys, they found a set of teeth, and those teeth, in those days in Mehergarh, they had used, now of course dentists use drills. They had used the pointed tips of stones to dig into teeth. So the first dentists were from Mehergarh. And there were artists, and they used to make statues of women, and the women had very elaborate hairstyles. So in those days, this book is really a mine of information. I mean, I've learned a lot from it.
And that is the cultural tourism of Balochistan. How much is that depicted in the book, and how much is it possible by going there to learn direct hands-on? The culture, the food, the weddings, the traditions, the bridal dress, the jewelry, the music and the dance and all those things. Is that possible? Perhaps in the next CLF, which is being held in Balochistan?
But again, thankfully that there is one district which is alhamdulillah peaceful, and you can move around, and there are people going in and out from Karachi, flying into Gwadar or back, or even driving. So there are certain parts that we have a little bit of a security issue where it's a bit risky. It may not be, but we do not want to take the risk. But otherwise, this can happen if somebody wants to. There are ways, and needs to do it.
Well, I'm doing a book on the cultural tourism.
Yeah.
So I think with your company, I should be okay.
You be okay with me, and there's Abdullah Baloch also sitting from the culture department. Again, one of our, I would say, an institution in himself. Always the link to Lok Virsa from Balochistan. So there's a lot of experience. We both can work out your requirements. Yeah, we'll do that.
Dr. Hamida Khuhro, your concluding remarks to this your last session.
Well, thank you very much for coming to this launch, and I'm really happy that so many school children are here, and they've been lively enough to ask questions about Balochistan. I'm so glad that they are aware of the problems and that they brought these out. That's